Alright, this is my review of the Resinsoul doll, the Li body in white resin. She's an MSD doll, around 42.5 centimeters, I think. Can't be sure. This is an 18-inch ruler. She came in about an 18-inch box and she was laying flat. She's about 17 inches high. I think that's how much. Yeah, 17 inches. And the resin itself is a good quality. It's not thin. It's a heavy resin. I was actually surprised when I first picked her up because I thought she'd be lighter, but she was heavier than I thought she would be. So that's good. There is no seams on this doll. She comes with free seam removal, I guess you can say. I know on some dolls that you have to pay $500 for, you have to actually pay extra, like 40, 60 bucks to actually get them to remove the seam. But on Resinsoul, it's standard. You don't have to remove the seam yourself. She doesn't come with a wig or anything, but she does come with a free pair of eyes in a random color. I think you can actually ask them to give you a specific eye color, and I think on their website they only have like 5 different colors, so your options are limited on that anyway. And let's see. Oh, she's pretty cheap too. She only cost me $135 with a face-up. The face-up is only $10 as opposed to maybe $40 on some of the $500, $600 dolls, which is awesome. She's a very economical doll, especially for the quality of it. And then now I will move on to some of the posability features of this doll. As you can see, she's a very good stander. She balances very well. Move down to her feet here. As you can see, we have a good range of motion in her feetsies. Move up to her knee. It is a double jointed knee, so she can, if she wanted to, bend it all the way back to sit in a kneeling position. Like so, like so, if she wanted to. And they do lock into place, so she won't collapse on herself when she's standing, so that's good. Moving on up to her hips here, it's only a single joint. This makes her sitting a little tricky if it wants to happen at all. If you line up the cords into the little slots here, line up the cords, this helps her sit better. There we go. She likes to bounce back, so you usually have to put her hands behind her in order to get her to sit well. She's propped up by her hands, so she actually is sitting at the moment. But if you remove her hands, like so, she doesn't sit. She has nothing to support her, and the string is too bouncy, I guess you can say, to hold her into a sitting position, so she will not sit very well unless she's supported from behind by her hands. Moving on up to her waist, she has a joint here. This joint won't go forward, but it will go backwards. Let's see if I can move her arms. There we go. It will go backwards like so. Her chest is the same way. It will not go forwards any more than it can, because there's a lip there, but it can go backwards. So she can lean back pretty far. And there she's standing on her own, so that's great. Pop that back into place. Still standing on her own. Then moving on to the wrists. This is the range of motion in them. They hold their pose rather well, like so. Good, good. Moving on to her elbows, double jointed elbows, so she could pat herself on the back if she wanted to. See? Touching her back. There's her elbow joint. Looks much better when it's down. Seamless. Her shoulder joint. Single jointed. Her arms, she does have a little trouble holding her pose in her arms. Her arms are kind of floppy, although I'm not sure this is the case with all the dolls, just mine in particular. Let's see if I get these elbows locked. There we go. Sometimes she will hold her arm pose like that. You can get her to wave sometimes. But anything that's forward, she wants to flop on you. And her head, it does tend to kind of cock to the side. For some reason, it doesn't want to stay straight, like so. But her head has a range of motion, like so. It's about as far as it can lean back right there. As far as it can dip forward there. And then something that's very odd about this doll is the green putty that is used to hold her eyes in. I just thought this was very odd because you can actually see it in the corner of her eyes. You probably won't be able to see it on the video, but if you're looking at her in real life, you can see the green tint coming in the corner of her eyes. Like right here and over there. Personally, I think this company should use white or flesh tone colored putty, but yeah, who am I to criticize? But anyway, the head cap is held on simply by a magnet and a little lip thing here. It's easy to take on and off. You just kind of slip that in there, then pop it down. Let's take it off. You just lift up in the back and put it back on. This doll does not have a tongue and groove pose system. I noticed that on some dolls, for example, in their waist joints, they'll have like on the upper body here, on the underside, like on this little part here, they'll have a tongue part, and then on the inside of their pelvic area, they'll have a groove, so that you can pose your doll like this, and she'll stay like that into that tongue and groove. But this doll doesn't have that, so posing could be a challenge with her. But she's a very good quality doll, especially for the price. I'm very pleased with her. She's gorgeous. As you can see, the face-up was very cheap, and there were no seams to remove, and it came standard, so she is an awesome deal, and she is awesome quality. And so there you have it. It's a quick review, and if you have any more questions, you can comment on my video or whatever, and I will see if I can help you out with this doll in particular.